From R.D. Smothers Wealth Management, this is The Retirement.
When you retire, if you want an exciting life, you need a boring investment strategy.
Matters.
If you enter into retirement without a plan for income, you're not retired, you're simply unemployed.
Podcast.
Hey, this is your host, Dale Smothers, and you're listening to the Retirement Matters Podcast. My hope is that you will find the information you need in every single show on how to do one of the three things: either saving more money more efficiently, planning better for your future where you can live in retirement worry-free, or my favorite, how you can live a happy and fulfilled life in this life you have been given. We know that your time is valuable and we appreciate you spending it listening to this episode of the Retirement Matters Podcast. On this week's episode of the Retirement Matters Podcast, we dive deep into a cryptocurrency scheme that is sweeping across America. You're not going to want to miss this, and know what to be on the lookouts for if you are over the age of 60 and have ever Googled the words Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. You are likely a target. We cover at the end of this show long-term care leveraging tools that you need to be aware of if you are trying to plan for end-of-life care and how to pay for those things. And at the very beginning, we drop a little bit of wisdom that was delivered from my 8-year-old, which you're about to hear. And it is one that is not only good for life in general, it's good for building Legos, as well as it is good for building retirement plans. So without further ado, let's jump straight to this week's episode titled, A Bitcoin Scam Sweeping America and Ways to Pay for Long-Term Care. Enjoy the show. Good morning to you. I hope you are doing well and you are ready to start discussing all things retirement matters. As always, this morning we have a show that is filled with information intended to help you navigate through retirement just a little bit better. At RDS Wealth, we have a single mission here, and that is to allow you to walk into retirement living happy, having all the facets of retirement covered, not just your investments, but certainly your investments, as well as your healthcare plans, how you're going to take Medicare, what selection on Medicare supplement you should be choosing, Social Security, when should you be taking that? That's our income planning piece. And where's income going to come from in your retirement portfolio that you have? How's it going to generate income for you? How long is it going to last? All of that becomes very clear after working with our team. In addition to that, we talk about long-term care. And today I'm going to touch on how we help you plan for the expenses of long-term care. We're going to give you one tool in particular that we help a lot of clients with in leveraging the money that they have in their accounts specifically for a long-term care event if something ever were to come to fruition where you needed a little additional assistance perhaps in life. And that's the funny thing about life. If we live long enough, we will need someone to help us, family members, friends, relatives, to assist us in some way. I've heard it said before that we are once an adult and twice a child. That reigns true. And for retirees, we have to plan for that time. We assist them in doing these things. But, you know, unlike normal shows in today's show, I want to give you a PSA. I want to give you a public safety announcement specifically regarding Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. There is a scam going on right now in America that we have had a few clients come in to talk to us about. We've had one prospective individual come and talk to us with an account that he thought was legitimate, and come to find out it's nothing more than a scam. And what's more is I've got a story, a very unique story to share with you about something that was discussed with me in an advisor mastermind group. I've got a group of advisors, around 15 of us from around the country that will get together periodically. And there was a story shared with me that made me realize this is much more than just a local scam. This is a national scam. And my radio listening audience, you in particular, needs to be aware of this. So we're going to jump into all of that today. We've got a lot to unpack in today's episode and very little time to do it. For that reason, I'm going to make our pause for positivity a little bit shorter, but nonetheless, all the impact of a 8-year-old. It's nothing like an 8-year-old to teach you a little bit of wisdom about life. This is exactly what happened a couple of days ago as we opened up some boxes at my kitchen table. Around the kitchen table, we were opening up these boxes full of Legos. And my youngest son, who is 6 years old, Mr. Matthew, he decides that he is going to open up a box of Legos, and he proceeds to open up every single bag in the box. Now, if you've done Legos lately, if you put those together, they're very complex little creations in those boxes, and they typically will have numbered bags to allow you to work on these in sections. So you piece things together. And in this bag, you've got enough Legos, maybe a couple extra of certain blocks, but you've got the specific blocks to build what would then correspond to bag number 1 directions in the box. Well, if you open all the bags without keeping them separated for numbers, the challenge begins. And this is exactly what took place with Matthew. And as Matthew is ripping all the bags together, ripping them open, and then putting all the blocks together, thinking it's fun, Andrew looks over and sees him, Andrew, who's my 8-year-old, going on 9 years old. And the wisdom of this 8 and 9-year-old is astounding sometimes because of the way he looks at life. It makes me take a pause because some of the things that he says are so simple that they become profound. They're so simple that it makes me take just a second to realize if I could put that into everyday life as an adult, things begin to get simpler. And now I don't want to lead this story on because there was nothing explosive or extremely wise about what Andrew said, but what he said carries a lot of impact and wisdom in real life. It was very simple. He looked at his brother and in a brotherly way, he said, "Matthew, stop ripping open those bags. Those bags are meant to carry out certain steps so that you can build this picture easier." And all the while, he's referencing the picture of what this is supposed to look like. This is a Lego City contraption that we're building, and it's going to turn out to be, if we can ever get the thing put together, it's going to turn out to be a very large police van, and almost like an RV, if you can think through that. And it's got all these little intricate pieces inside of the RV. It's a very large set of Legos. And when he said this, again, Matthew, stop opening this up. It's meant to give us easy steps towards getting to the end result. Made me think about life sometimes. We have this beautiful picture of things that we know we want to accomplish, things that we know we want to achieve. And if we're not careful, we can become so concerned with steps to come that we forget to follow the steps that are ordered today. I've used an example similar to this in previous Pause for Positivities where we talk about that the Lord will guide you in your path. And we've got to be concerned about our own path, not the paths of our neighbors. And the paths of our neighbors are going to be different than us. Life is not always going to be exactly what we pictured, but it's going to be impossible to achieve our destiny if we focus on step number 5 or 6 when we should be on step number 1. Sometimes the Lord has not delivered to us yet what he will someday deliver because we're not ready for it just yet. And in this illustration, maybe the bags that are in your box should not yet be opened, and thank God that he is directing our paths, that he is helping us know what bags should and shouldn't be opened. Because as we're looking through these blocks now, because again, Matthew ripped every bag open and mixed them together, I'm looking at thousands of little bitty Lego blocks trying to find the right one when the Lego company sent it to me in bite-sized pieces. And in life, if it seems a little chaotic, seems a little bit hectic, maybe we should just take a pause, remember what step we're on, and follow the process. There's our Pause for Positivity. We're going to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be discussing, let's just jump straight to that PSA because that is extremely important. I want to make sure I have enough time to deliver this message to our listening audience. Bitcoin and crypto trading is a hot commodity right now. It's a big topic in the news. A lot of people are unaware of exactly what it is. And while we're certainly not going to take the time to explain all of that to you on this episode, what I do want you to be aware of is that there are scams right now about Bitcoin promising these high returns, even showing you significant returns on your statements, all the while stealing money from these retirees. And it's always good to be in the know so that you can keep from being a victim. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back with more Retirement Matters after this.
Question. Did you grow up playing team sports or participating in a school band or an orchestra? If so, then I'm sure you're going to recognize the mantra, how you practice is how you'll play. You see, that director or coach knew the importance of practice and rehearsal and not walking into a game or competition completely unprepared. It's so unfortunate, but we meet good people every day that wish they would have put a little more thought and preparation into their retirement. They just simply didn't have a good coach and the right practice steps. At R.D. Smothers Wealth Management, we are that rehearsal stage before retirement. We listen to your dreams and all those retirement goals you set, and then match them up with the right practice steps so that when the time comes, everything goes as planned, and your retirement is the performance of a lifetime. We don't want you to get to retirement unprepared and worrying about finances, like outliving your savings. If you'd like us to take a look at your retirement strategy, call our office, 270-600-PLAN. That's 270-600-PLAN. And if you've received value from this show and you want more, you can access the Retirement Matters podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't forget to sign up for our free weekly newsletter at rdswealth.com. That's rdswealth.com. And sign up for our free weekly newsletter.
All right, welcome back to the show. I want to jump into a scam that is going on right now revolving around Bitcoin. This is a PSA, public safety announcement. I need everyone that has ever been ambitiously seeking out Bitcoin to be aware of this, because if you have typed in Bitcoin maybe to your Google search bar, or you have done any kind of internet searches on what cryptocurrency is, it's likely that you could be a target of this scam. And the scam looks similar to this. It takes many different shapes and forms. I know I have personally talked to two individuals who have been a victim of this scam, one in a very small amount of money, one in a very large amount of money, but none quite as large as the story that I'm going to share with you, which comes from an advisor in Chicago who was telling me just last week that he had encountered this scam, and it made me realize this is a national scam. It's going on. And multiple advisors around the table in this group were also saying they've seen similar instances. What took place in this particular instance was a couple, husband and wife, were about to retire, and before moving their money over to this advisor, they had moved their money into a crypto exchange called Crypto.com. Now, Crypto.com is a legitimate website, but they had done this under the advisement of a, air quotes here, advisor that they had found on LinkedIn. They had found this advisor digitally and had somehow found that they were very good at cryptocurrency exchanges. Now, the husband in this situation, being wise, decided to do just a little bit, and over the last 7 months had taken around $100,000 and turned it into nearly $1 million. Seeing this extraordinary return, he had talked to his advisor on the internet and said, what would we be able to do with the full amount of money, which is around $5 million? And I'm only going to have it here for about a month until I roll it into an IRA with a local advisor. Well, this internet-based advisor said we can take that $5 million and likely get you to an additional $1 million within a month, getting you to $6 million. This advisor was essentially promising that cryptocurrency would return around 20% in the month. The gentleman that was retiring decided to move this money to his internet-based advisor into Crypto.com. And from there, this money would move to a different trading platform, was how they had described it. And every so often, about 2 to 3 times a week, the client would be called by the advisor and told to log in. And this trading scheme happens like this. You move money to the crypto.com, which again is a legitimate website, and from there to the trading platform. And on the trading platform, now seeing the full amount of money on the platform, you personally would be typing in buys and sales in the crypto market. You would buy on a certain day and sell on the next day. You may even do some buys and sales with different types of cryptocurrencies all in one day. And sure enough, this gentleman had grown that money from $5 million to now $6 million and was very satisfied. Now talking to his advisor in Chicago, deciding to move this money over to the IRA that the local advisor would manage because he knows cryptocurrency is rather risky. He is talking to this advisor and telling him, this is my statement, this is where my money is, and this is how it's grown. The advisor begins to get a little bit more curious and begins to complete the withdrawal processes that have been laid out. Come to find out, this withdrawal process is going to require the gentleman to pay what is considered to be the tax on the amount of money when he moves it. Now, this is supposedly supposed to be in an IRA, so there should be no taxes owed. But the advisor, again, air quotes, on LinkedIn, his internet-based advisor, is telling him he has to pay the taxes before they will let the money go. Long story short, what has actually taken place behind the scenes is that this client had moved $5 million to crypto.com, which once again is very legitimate, where you can purchase securities in the cryptocurrency world. But from there, instead of moving his money to a legitimate trading platform, he had moved every dime to a personal wallet of the air quotes. I'm using air quotes here. You can't see it, but I'm on the radio saying air quotes advisor that he had found on the internet. He had moved every dime from crypto.com over to the advisor, and this advisor has been making very fake trades on this account, showing paper gains with no real gains whatsoever. He stole the money. And he stole this money, now making it seem as if his only way of getting the money back was to pay nearly $700,000 in taxes. And the sad part is the client was about to go get a loan to pay those taxes. Had he have done this, he would have not only given him the $5 million, but would have also given him the full $700,000, which he would have never seen again and been in the hole. Now, the devastating part is that this particular client and his wife have went from being a multimillionaire to having nothing. And there's not much that can be done in the crypto world. The crypto world is the Wild West. And if you want to think of this as the Wild West, there's no sheriff in town. There isn't a lot of regulation around cryptocurrency. I'm not here to demonize cryptocurrency. But what I am here to do is to make sure that you are aware. There is a lot of confusion around what cryptocurrency is, and for that reason, a lot of people are being taken advantage of in this particular way. They're asking you to move money. Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's a little, over to a platform that is legitimate, crypto.com. From there, they are asking you to move to a trading platform, which is an entirely different website, and I've heard it been called multiple names. The bottom line is that website is a fake website. You are moving that money from crypto.com over to a wallet, a personal wallet. Now, if you know much about cryptocurrency, you know that that money now belongs to, it's not in custody, it is personally theirs of whoever it is that you're talking to. That fake advisor. It's not as if they hold it in custody for you. You're just giving it to them. And they're going to do something over the next 3 to 6 months. In this case, it was 7 months long. That's going to make you feel like you are a part of this and you're seeing the account grow because you are placing trades. You're going in every single day, perhaps, or once or twice a week, and you are putting action into this website. You're pushing buy this many shares, sell this many shares, and all of these things are making you buy more and more into the scam, and you're seeing the account grow. The clients that I've personally dealt with were then told that there was a withdrawal fee, a single one-time withdrawal fee. That withdrawal fee is nothing more than them asking you for additional money. There has never been a single amount of growth in that account. It's all been digitally altered and made up. In the instances that I have helped deal with, they had asked for $30,000, $40,000, or $50,000 of additional monies to be able to withdraw this amount that was requested. And if you gave them that money, you would have then been giving them that money to never see it again. So not only have you given the seed money that you had hoped would grow, but you've also given the withdrawal fee, which is all made up, and all of that money disappears. You never hear from them again. You never see them again. And it's almost impossible to track down. I say all of that to say this. If you have questions about investing, call us. We will give you an honest opinion. We will give you our best advice. And from there, if a partnership makes sense, we will certainly walk hand in hand with you through this journey. There are a lot of people out there in this world that are doing nothing other than trying to steal your hard-earned money. This is one of the latest scams that I've been aware of, and it is an old scam with a new coat of paint. Be careful. Be diligent. And it doesn't hurt to do business with someone that you know you can trust, someone that, as a lot of our clients say, they know they can walk down to the office and grab someone around the neck if they need to. So let's just remember the wisdom that our parents taught us. If someone promises you something that sounds too good to be true, inquire diligently about it before you decide to move forward. In this instance, if you're not familiar with cryptocurrency, it might not be a bad idea to get 2 or 3 opinions before you push any buttons. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be discussing long-term care leveraging. And what I mean by that is, are there ways to multiply your money when it comes time to pay for long-term care and nursing home expenses that are sure to face a lot of retirees? As you age, it's likely that you will need some assistance. Many people are planning ahead, and we're going to discuss a tool that you should be considering when you build your healthcare plan. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back with more Retirement Matters right after this.
Thank you for listening to Retirement Matters, presented by R.D. Smothers Wealth Management. We help folks just like you retire the way they desire and live happy in retirement. If you'd like to speak with us, maybe even just ask some questions, give us a call at 270-600-PLAN. That's 270-600-PLAN. And if you enjoy the information in this show and would like to hear more, you can access previous shows by searching for the Retirement Matters Podcast on the podcast platform of your choice. That's the Retirement Matters Podcast, available to you 24/7 wherever you listen to podcasts. We also produce a weekly newsletter. Receive it free to your email inbox by signing up online at rdswealth.com. That's rdswealth.com to sign up for our free weekly newsletter. Our phone number once again, 270-600-PLAN, and online at rdswealth.com. Be sure to sign up for our free weekly newsletter.
All right, welcome back to the show. We don't have a lot of time, but I do want to cover something that is extremely important for individuals who are planning for retirement. You know, we talk a lot about the idea that retirement planning is so much more than just making sure you're invested in the right things. It is as much about planning for expenses later in life that are certainly not guaranteed, but very likely to occur, such as long-term care expenses, whether it's going to a nursing home, needing a little assistance around the house to perform certain things and being able to pay for those, or if it is a full-fledged staying by yourself in a expensive nursing home. These things begin to get expensive to the point where we see families losing houses, land, the farm, and these families that had planned on leaving money behind to their kids are going through it so fast that they now have to leave nothing at all or very little compared to what their plans were. This is something that concerns a lot of retirees. If you're in your 60s or 70s, you might be helping your parents go through this situation right now. And if that's the case, you need to know about a certain tool that allows us to leverage the money that we have. Now, I'm not a big fan of long-term care insurance policies. They serve a purpose. They have a place in some people's plan. But the downside to long-term care insurance policies is that you pay all of this money into this policy, and in the end, if you don't use it, you die in the dead of night, deep in sleep, and you never even know it was coming. All of a sudden, someone finds you, and you have spent all this money, and no one gets to benefit from it. And they're very expensive, depending on when you buy them. There is a ability for you instead to use this money in an account that gives you the money back if you pass away without using it. And the beautiful thing about this is the money that goes into that account, if you need it for long-term care purposes, it becomes a lot more money than what you actually put in there. It's like a checkbook, for instance. A good example. If we can get to a client early enough in their late 50s or early 60s and begin to earmark some of their money that they have and place it into what we call the left pocket health insurance account as opposed to the right pocket growth account. We refer to this a lot as our right pocket, left pocket approach to retirement planning. If we can put money into the left pocket, the health insurance account, it begins to accumulate. And over the years, when we need it, very easily could be as much as 4 times the amount. So imagine this. We put $250,000 into a left pocket health insurance account, and when we need it, it's $1 million. If we catch an individual early enough, it can easily be that. What does that mean? Well, that means when we go to pay for long-term care expenses, whether it's in or out of a nursing home, it does not matter in these types of accounts. We have the ability to write checks out of this checkbook as if there's $1 million in there. And we only put $250,000 in there years ago. And let me tell you, this type of account, this left pocket health insurance account, is one that allows you to not only turn that money on when you go into the nursing home, but it allows you to turn that money on the instant that you cannot perform 2 out of the 5 activities of daily living. There are 5 of those. Those five activities of daily living, they're called ADLs. It's bathing, dressing, eating, transferring from one position to another, and the ability to control the bladder or bowel function called continency. The instant you can't perform 2 out of those 5, you have the ability to turn on this checkbook. You've put in a fraction of what this checkbook power is, and if you don't use it, if you pass away without ever using this, every dime you've put into that account can be transferred to your beneficiaries. This is the benefit of a left pocket health insurance account. If it's something you would like to learn a little bit more about, give us a call, 270-600-PLAN. Again, 270-600-7526. You need to be planning for long-term care expenses, especially if you have a legacy goal in mind. Now, if you want to pass away and give nothing to anyone, and you've got about $1 million to spend for your own private health insurance in the end of life care, then you probably don't need to put any kind of long-term care plan into place. However, if you have anything that you would like to leave to a loved one, and you do not feel like you have just an extra $1 million or $2 million setting aside for that plan, there are ways to leverage your dollars. And in this case that we just went through, it would be as if you receive a 75% off coupon for long-term care expenses. All right, guys, that is the show. And just like that, we have went through an entire 30-minute block of time, spent a little bit more time explaining that cryptocurrency scheme that is going around America right now. But you have to be aware of this, because if you're over the age of 60 and you have any money at all and you have ever Googled cryptocurrency, you are a target for these types of schemes, and we are here to help make sure that your money is secured, not only from the market and from the IRS man, but from the con man as well. We want to make sure that we are protecting you and your retirement and ultimately allowing you to walk away from the fear and worry of losing your money, making sure that it is there for you for the rest of your life. If you would like a little bit more assistance in making these plans come to fruition, give us a call, 270-600-PLAN. We know that you have a retirement you've always desired, and we want to make that a reality for you. We believe here at RDS Wealth, with a little bit of planning, you truly can live happy in retirement. So until we talk again, whether that's in person or right here on the same station, always remember, save money, plan well, and live happy in retirement. God bless.
Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AE Wealth Management and RD Smothers Wealth Management are not affiliated companies. Investing involves a risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This radio show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. RD Smothers Wealth Management is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by RD Smothers Wealth Management.